Hello, this is Myra Elaine on the Buying Space channel. I'm going to do an additional Torah reading because I've been in the hospital, and last Sunday I was unable to read from the Torah, and it kind of, it did not do me any good to know that I was unable to read from the Torah. I've been going through Exodus, and I'm to the part where Moses had been up on the mountain. He came down and they were worshiping the golden calf. And he broke the tablets. So he went back up on the mountain. So I'm in the part where he came back down the mountain and he's going up the mountain again. But happy Rosh Hashanah. Today is the Jewish New Year. It's October 2nd to 3rd, the evening. The days run from sunset to sunset for the Jews. So Rosh Hashanah is October 2nd to October 4th this year. And of course, there's a lot of information in Leviticus. I don't know about Leviticus 23. I've read that part. So we're looking for Numbers 29. And this is a Torah, the Hebrew's on this side, the English is on this side, and also you flip backwards. So what we would call the back of the book, they call the front of the book. See, Numbers, that would be 13. The English on this is a direct translation from the Hebrew. It's 24, getting close. It's also called the Festival of the Trumpets. So here we go, 29. Starting at verse 1. And in the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, shall ye have a holy convocation. No servile work shall ye do. A day of blowing of the coronet shall it be unto you. And ye shall prepare as a burnt offering for a sweet savor unto the Lord 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 7 sheep of the first year without blemish, and the meal offering of fine flour mingled with oil, 3 parts of the bullock and 10 parts of the ram, and 1 part for every sheep of the 7 sheep, and 1 he-goat for the sin offering to make an atonement for you. Besides the burnt offering of the new moon, it's a meal offering and daily burnt offering and meal offering and their drink offerings according to their prescribed manner for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And on the 10th day of the 7th month ye shall have a holy convocation, and shall afflict your souls. To no manner of work shall ye do. Okay, this goes on to another festival. So that was the offering sacrifice. So maybe I need to go to Leviticus 23 and see if I can find it's called the Festival of the Trumpets. And it's a fall festival. Here we go. Feast of the Bible. I'm going to use this. Usually I look at this beforehand, but I've been in the hospital and things are a little disorganized right now. Feast of the Trumpets or New Year's. Yom HaTorah Rosh Hashanah. It's either in September or October. Here it is, Leviticus 23, 23 to 25. Okay, so here we go. 24. So, just need to turn one page forward or back, whichever. Okay. And he slew it. Let's see, 23. This is not 23. This is 8. Okay. Sorry about this. I was on Michelle Crochet and Crafts, and she commented about me reading the Torah. And she asked me if I was Jewish. And I'm like, no, I'm not Jewish. I'm not reading the Hebrew. I'm reading the English translated from the Hebrew. But she was wanting to know, I guess, why I read from the Torah. And I don't want to ignore the instructions of God. Now, we are not under the old law. We're not under the old covenant. None of it matters for our salvation. And as Christians, we don't have to observe the festivals and feasts because Jesus Christ made the ultimate sacrifice. And so all this blood sacrifice is not necessary because Jesus Christ sacrificed his blood on the cross. But in my walk and coming closer to God, I want to know the history of our relationship with God in history and with the Jewish people, and incorporate those traditions in my own life as a choice as a Christian. But it's absolutely not necessary. It's study of the Bible. And one of the ways you can know what to do in life is pray every day and read your Bible. Okay, here we go. And this is Leviticus 23, starting at verse 23. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, On the 7th month, on the first day of the month, shall ye have a rest, a memorial of sounding of the coronet, a holy convocation. No servile work shall ye do, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And then it goes on to the other feasts. So the Bible clearly states when the festival should be, and that there should be the trumpets that are sounded on this day. I know that Jews go to the synagogue and they sound trumpets. I did not get a chance to watch Western Wall. I usually watch the live footage from the Western Wall. I know that I did briefly see the Western Wall before. When I got home, I kind of passed out. That the place was packed, and they were having a service. And it was all in Jewish, and I don't know Jewish. Let me see what I can glean from this. But I do think that we need to honor the Jews and pay attention to their festivals, and all the festivals of the Old Testament parallel the life of Christ. And people are saying right now that we might have the rapture in the next 2 days, that they believe that it's going to happen during this Feast of Trumpets. And they said that last year. Of course, we didn't rapture last year, but I think it's fascinating, the whole twinkling of the eye. But the Bible also says not to change a word in Revelation. It also says that no one knows the day or the hour. It also says the twinkling of an eye. So at any point in time, we could be called to rapture. And I don't even know if there's a call. If it is, boom, it happens in the twinkling of an eye. So, but anyway, it's a wonderful time to explore Jewish tradition. I know today I had ordered for dinner before I left the hospital apples and cinnamon. And that's one of the foods that is typically eaten, those fall festival foods. And I think it's just a wonderful time to celebrate. And if you want to be close to God, following those Jewish traditions and, feasting and having a special meal or a special item with your meal, even if you're just having like apples and cinnamon to celebrate the new year. You don't have to go blow a trumpet or a ram's horn to celebrate today. If you're Jewish, you want to go to a synagogue and hear it done. That would be wonderful. But they treat it like we treat our New Year's. They take the day off, or in this case, 2 days off, and they celebrate. It's, just like Christians would not do any work or anything on Christmas. Jews will not do anything on Rosh Hashanah and the other Jewish holidays. And when I first came to Jacksonville, I was a little distressed because the city council had a member that was Jewish, but they didn't put the Jewish holidays on the calendar. And I remember being all upset that it wasn't fair that the Christian holidays were followed, but and people had compensation, time off, but the Jews weren't allowed to take time off. So if you have a Jewish council member in your town and they're having a city hall meeting, that's not fair to that council person, and it's not fair to their constituents, and it's not fair to the council itself, because they have one member missing that is going to take that day off because God is first. And we say that as Christians, but we need to make sure that we know that if someone is Jewish or if someone's Muslim, that we respect their time with God too, because we all worship the same God, Yahweh, and we're all brothers and sisters of Abrahamic religion. So it is the 7th month. It is the new year. And you're supposed to put away the old and start with the new. And I have a lot of that to be done in my life. I just got out of the hospital, and so I am going to start anew. New habits, new healthier habits. And just like, our New Year's in the United States on January 1st, where you have resolutions. I don't know if there's a Rosh Hashanah resolution thing, but I think it's more focused on putting away the old than, so those resolutions that you say, well, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm not going to do that. Those types of things, those old things need to go away, need to slide away. We need to move forward with God in a new positive direction. And in my case, with my health. Because I can't continue doing what I'm doing. There's Dee Dee Sweeties over here, and I'm going to leave them alone. I compromised on having one a day. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to have one a day. And that way, it's in moderation. And I don't know what I was thinking when I bought 3 pounds of it. I wasn't thinking about my health. And so I'm still going to buy Dee Dee Sweeties. I'm still going to have Dee Dee Sweeties. And I'm still going to have moon pies. But it's going to be in moderation. Like if I get that box of moon pies, I'm having 1 moon pie a day at the most. Maybe 1 moon pie a week. But, I have to start new in this new year. Even though this isn't my culturally traditional New Year, I think every year I want to honor Rosh Hashanah and the Festival of the Trumpets in my life, in my walk as a Christian, because it is helpful to reflect. And it's wonderful to study different cultures and have a special meal or a special food item that's related to that. Even if you're not Jewish and have, a full feast. I would love to have a full feast on Rosh Hashanah next year. It may not happen for me, but it would be wonderful to celebrate these holidays. And I really want to de-emphasize Christmas. Now, I'm not de-emphasizing Christ, but when I am celebrating Christmas, I don't want to celebrate the Santa Claus part of Christmas anymore. The nativity and things like I've got ornaments I hang on the wall because we don't have a Christmas tree anymore. They have deer on them and winter scenes, those sort of things. But the Santa Claus Christmas, the commercial Christmas, is kind of gone. And instead of having a big pile of presents, we're going to have one present. We've been kind of doing this for years now, from Christmas to Epiphany. But this is my Torah reading. I'll explain Epiphany at another time, not on Rosh Hashanah. Going into Christmas is a little, borderline there too. But, it's okay because I think my Jewish friends will understand that I am Christian. And I hope that some Messianic Jews will appreciate my Torah readings and what I'm saying. And Michelle, I appreciate your interest, but no, I'm not Jewish. I am a spiritual child or descendant of Abraham, in that God had a promise and covenant with the Jews. We had a new promise and covenant in Jesus Christ, but Jesus Christ himself was Jewish and came from the Jewish culture. And like I said, his life parallels, his timeline of his life parallels all these festivals and things in the Old Testament. So the Old Testament and history of Jews points to Jesus Christ and is about Jesus Christ. And so I think it's important that we study the Old Testament, but at the same time, know that we're not under the Old Covenant. You all have a wonderful and blessed day.